Thank you for joining us for our webinar, 5 Ways to Make a Difference During Engineers Week. My name is Thea Saar, and I'm the Director of Programs at Discover-E. And before we get started, I just have a couple of housekeeping announcements that I'd like to go over. Next slide, please. So this webinar is using voice over internet, and so you should be able to hear and see the presentation through your computer. But if the sound isn't good, there is a teleconference number that you can dial in on. It's right here on the screen, and also it's on the audio portion of your GoToWebinar control panel. So the webinar will be about 30 to 45 minutes long, depending on how many questions you all have. We're going to ask for questions and answer at the end. So if you think of a question along the way, you can type it into the question box below. And my colleague Autumn is monitoring questions and will be reading those out to the panelists at the end of our session. So the webinar is being recorded and will be posted to YouTube, and we'll email you a link probably tomorrow or later this week, so you can share it with other colleagues and friends who may not be able to join us. Also, we have a very short, an emphasis on very short survey at the end of the webinar, and we want to hear from you how we can continue to improve our efforts. So if you can spend an additional 1 to 2 minutes at the end of this webinar sharing your thoughts, that would really help us out tremendously. So next slide, please. Our presenters today are Candice Corso. She is an advanced project engineer at 3M, and she's the chair of the 3M Discover-E group since 2014. The 3M Discover-E team consists of over 200 volunteers that focus their efforts on classroom activities and local science fair judging. In 2014 alone, they reached over 10,000 students. We don't expect that from all of you. Candice and 3M, they're a bit of rock stars, but she's going to join us today to talk about engaging students during Engineers Week and beyond. Our next speaker is Terry Morris. She's the Engineering Operations and Technology Global Technology Program Director at Boeing. I think I threw in an extra technology there. Sorry, Terry. Boeing is our Discover-E co-chair for 2016, along with SAE and AIAA. And our partnership with Boeing and Terry not only is fun, which you look for in all of your partners, but together we've launched a new program this year called Global Day of the Engineer. And you'll be hearing more from Terry about this program in just a few minutes. Our last speaker is Victoria Ibarra, and she is an architectural engineering major at UT Austin. And Victoria's path to engineering is an example of the power of role models. When she was 10, she attended an Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day event at UT Austin. And it was there doing hands-on engineering activities and seeing women engineers that showed her the excitement and the fun she could have in a career in engineering. This year, Victoria will be volunteering at UT Austin's Girl Day event. And I just got an email from them saying they're already expecting 4,000 girls at this year's event, which is kind of crazy to think about. And Victoria is hoping that she can make the same impact on a young girl this year that she had the experience, what she was so grateful for to have many years ago. And so she'll be talking to us today about Girl Day role models and the power that you have in even short one-day interactions. Okay, next slide. So before we jump into details and hear from our presenters, I just wanted to go over the 5 easy steps and ways that you can make a difference during Engineers Week 2016 or any time during the year. Engineers Week while it's 1 week out of the year, we really look at it and see it more as a launching pad, a chance to remind everyone that in reaching out and helping kids discover engineering is an important thing we all need to be doing. It doesn't necessarily have to happen during Engineers Week, and we hope it happens all year long. We also want to invite you to join our worldwide celebration of engineering and the impact they have on our lives. So many people don't ever have the chance to meet an engineer or know any engineers, And this is our chance to say to everyone in the engineering community, get out there, share all of the amazing things you're all working on, because it's engineers that are driving innovation around the world. We also want to say to you, whether you know it or not, you already are a role model for young girls and young boys. Just by being an engineer or a person in the technology career, people look to you and they say, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What's involved? Like I said, not very many people know an engineer or a technologist, so this is your chance to be an ambassador. And if you're saying yes to 1, 2, and 3, you might be saying, well, how can I be a volunteer? What are some great what are some things I need to do to prepare myself to be an effective volunteer? And we're going to show you some resources Discover E has online. They're self-guided tutorials, very easy to go through, where you can learn about effective messages, and we have all kinds of amazing resources for you. So we're going to talk about that today. And then last but least, we want you to spread the word about Engineers Week, about Girl Day, about all the wonderful programs, and about engineering in general and how it makes a difference in all of our lives. So with that, I am going to hand it over to our first presenter, Candace, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about helping kids and adults discover engineering. Candace?
Hi, everyone. This is Candace calling in from 3M. So just to give everyone a little bit of perspective, this is going to be from the business or corporate side of things, and then you'll hear later from someone at UTI Austin. So what we've done in the past during eWeek is we did last year a design challenge with a bunch of high school classes where we took one of 3M's products and we had the students redesign them with a specific challenge. So this was a tape dispenser redesign, asking the students to design it so someone can use it with only one hand. And they loved it. They really got into it, and we really went through the design process with them. So that was one way to connect with high school students. Within 3M, we did the Inspired to Engineer contest, which we got that idea from Discover E, where we had our engineers submit a nomination for someone that inspired them to be an engineer. And that went really well, and we announced it during one of our networking events here in engineering. So that was great. Next slide, please. So one other things that you can do, and some things we're planning on doing in the future, is we are going to do the Inspired to Engineer again. That was great visibility for Discover E within 3M. Also, another thing we want to do is bring students to our engineering and R&D facilities here in St. Paul. So we're looking into doing that. That is something the kids really like to see. They really like to see that hands-on work. What are you actually doing day to day? It's one thing to tell them, it's another thing to show them. We also have volunteers judging at Future City, both the essay portion and the in-person judging. For us, it's on January 23rd. Some other things you can do are organize an Engineers Week lunch. The Engineering Family Day is pretty neat. You can set something up at a museum or a mall and invite families to come and do some of the activities that Discover E has on their website. Some other things that we get involved with are the middle school or high school career days. Some do it in the classroom, and some have an actual fair after school, which is pretty great. So next, who will be talking to you is Terry Morse. As you heard before, she's the Global Technology Program Director at Boeing.
Hey, before we hear from Terry, Candace, this is Thea. Can you share with us one of the best designs you saw for the tape dispenser? You know, how did some of the high school students solve that challenge?
Well, one of my favorite ones I saw was they actually drew a picture of a soap dispenser, and they said that they wanted it to work like that. So if you think of a soap dispenser or a paper towel dispenser, that's where they were headed with that design. And I thought it was really neat that they first drew the soap dispenser and then they went to draw how the tape dispenser would look in that similar manner. But we keep all of our designs. I've got about 500 different designs in a box at my desk.
Wow. So if anyone's out there, well, maybe this is part of the 3M's R&D, where you're getting new ideas from the kids on your next 3M tape dispensers.
Right.
I love the tie-in to engineering and what you all do there. Thank you. And Terry, now we'd love to hear from you about Global Day of the Engineer.
Thank you. This is Terry Morse, and I welcome all of you to today's telecon. What I'd like to do is share with you our new program that's part now of the Discovery program, and will be part of all the future years as well. Hopefully you're seeing my screen now, and this is actually the Discovery program page on Global Day. And what it's all about is spreading the word, not just here in the United States, but internationally as well, and eliciting everyone globally to celebrate and be part of the engineering profession, and engaging students, celebrating engineering, as well as sharing the innovations of engineering around the world. I encourage you to come to the Global Day home site. In fact, one of the first things on there is a video by John Tracy, our Boeing Chief Technology Officer and Senior Vice President, who talks about his view about engineering and how we engage the next generation. The first thing I'll point out about this page is Discovery's built in now the capability for people in different languages to actually see and understand. I just translated the whole page to Arabic so that our global partners can actually see and hear and read in their own native languages. I'll go ahead and switch it back to English for this presentation. To join the worldwide movement, it's very simple. What we're doing is taking pledges for the 3 emphases globally: celebrating engineering, engaging students, or sharing a local innovation through a social media post on photos. I'll show you, for just engaging students, what's out there and how you can use the materials. We've posted and put together a whole set of engaging student materials. You'll hear actually at a future seminar about some of the activities that Discovery's partner with Design Squad Global, but I would like to highlight what Boeing has invested in putting in place. There's a link here to our Boeing Company Centennial website, where you will find all of the educational resources that have been assembled to help both teachers, educators, students and families, as well as mentors and volunteers. Material that's free, that's downloadable, and has been proven for its use, working together with not only our Boeing experts on the topics, but also expert educators on what will be engaging and interesting to student population. Here's just a few of the hands-on activities that are available: designing a robotic arm, building a helicopter, deploying a satellite, engineering an air-powered spinning vehicle. These are all interactive videos, exercises, design materials that anyone can download and utilize in their local activities. In addition, I'd also like to mention that Boeing has invested and put on board what we call our Above and Beyond exhibit, that is traveling not only in the United States, but internationally as well, being displayed at local science centers around the world. Right now, our United States display is in St. Louis. It will actually be in Charleston, South Carolina during February E-Week. But more importantly, we have an exhibit that is in London, that will be in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, actually over February and our Global Day time period. And we've actually partnered with Dubai to use our education materials that I just pointed out in a whole series of workshops. So if you're there in the Mideast, you encourage you to take advantage of that, to partner, sponsor a trip with students to the Above and Beyond exhibit, and utilize the online materials to accent the kinds of things that they'll see at the exhibit in workshops and mentoring activities back in the local area. Those are all available. The last thing I'd like to do is actually go and show you how to pledge, actually do a pledge. And so I've held off pledging myself in order to show how to do it here on this webinar. So even though I won't be in an international location, although I would love to be, I am pledging to engage internationally, and so it's as simple as putting my name and email, and the fact that I'm with the Boeing Company. And what I'm pledging to do are actually two things. First of all, I will be at the Future City final competition, and I want to make it a special point to engage in the international teams, student teams that are planning on being there, and encourage them to continue their pursuits in engineering back in their home country. See if I can talk and spell at the same time here. As well as I am going to be on Global Day itself, that Wednesday, I'm going to be celebrating engineering achievements with our Boeing International Research Centers in an interactive and manner that Boeing is sponsoring across the company. Submit it. And now I am actually a pledger. And if you see, actually, let me go back. Oh. I want to show one last thing here. We're keeping track of the number of pledges, and we're already up to 907 pledges that have been made for people to participate in our new Global Day celebration. So become part of the party. And with that, I'll turn it back to Thea.
Yeah, that is definitely a very easy way for all 224 of you on the call today to quickly go to discovere.org and go to our Global Day page and take the pledge. Tell us what you're going to be doing for Global Day. What are you thinking about doing? And if you don't know, you can still say, hey, I want to take the pledge and I'm going to figure it out later. And there's no real pledge police that'll come back, but we do hope that you will do what you say. So next up is Victoria, and she's going to talk to us about engaging girls in engineering. Hi, Victoria. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me. So as Thea mentioned, I attended Girl Day when I was 10 years old at the University of Texas, and it was hosted by our Women in Engineering program. And at the Girl Day, I was given hands-on activity that's directly related to engineering, and the volunteers who were there helped guided me through these activities, and they were students and faculty and engineers from industry who were there volunteering their time. So it was neat to be able to see all the different areas of engineering and see that it was something that I could do, and that was something that I wanted to do later in life. And I can distinctly remember.
Oh, Victoria, we've lost Victoria. Well, Victoria, we lost your audio for a minute. Are you back?
Yeah, hello?
Hi, sorry, we lost your audio for a second.
Oh, sorry. So as I was saying, I distinctly remember being told to build a stool with only paper and tape, and it had to support my weight, and being absolutely ecstatic once I was able to accomplish my task, and being able to talk to the volunteers and get their perspectives and see what they were doing out in the real world. And so those activities and the volunteers at Girl Day really showed me that being an engineer was something that I could do. And now as a student, I volunteer at the Girl Day every year, and I hope to do the same and inspire a young girl into pursuing engineering. And the way our Girl Day is set up is we split and really it's open to boys and girls, and we split them up by age group. And so the activities are catered towards certain age groups, and the volunteers are there to lead the activities and explain how the activities that the kids are doing relate to engineering. And I think that's really important part, because that is the time in which the kids really get to engage with engineers and with students and with the faculty who are there helping them with the activities. So if you go to the next slide, you will see some of the things that you can do during Girl Day or during Engineers Week. And one of those big things is just, to go out there and be a volunteer and engage in one of these activities. Invite girls to your workplace or college campus. Do hands-on activities with a group of girls. You can do things that I've mentioned. There's stuff on our website, and there's also, as you saw earlier on Terry's webpage, those activities you could do with girls. Offer to speak at local events, so just showing girls the types of things that you're doing out in the workforce. Inviting girls to have lunch with female engineers, and so those are great ways to have very casual opportunities so girls feel that they can be an engineer and do the sort of things that engineers are currently doing. So I'll hand it back over to you, Tia.
Thanks, Victoria. So I think what's so inspiring about Candace and Terry and Victoria is they're each doing different things and engaging in at different levels with support of their company or with the support of their university. Victoria especially really showcases the power of the work that Candace and Terry are doing out there. It was somebody taking the time to sit down and do a paper chair activity with Victoria and talk to her about engineering, and lo and behold, put her on the path to engineering. So if any of you are out there shaking your head saying, does any of this make a difference? Is this what, how I want to be spending my volunteer time? I think Victoria would tell you, yes, go out there and volunteer, because it made a difference in my life, right? I'm not putting words in your mouth, am I?
Oh, no, yeah, of course. I remember seeing those students and seeing those industry members at Girl Day and just being inspired by what they're doing. And so I think it is important to, be out there and volunteer your time, because it really shows those young girls that they can do that too. And I think even now it's re-energizing to volunteer at Girl Day, because it reminds me specifically why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so I think it's great when you go out and volunteer your time to help girls and find their dreams and find their path.
Right. And that's a great follow-up. You're not just invigorating the girls. You're reminding yourself why you're doing what you're doing. All right. So now we've showed you a couple of programs that people are doing. Bringing people into their organizations or pledging to go to the Future City competition and be a judge and talk to students or go to a Girl Day event. So now I'm going to just spend a few minutes walking you through some of the resources we have for you to be an effective volunteer and offer you a few tips on how you can get started. If you don't have, if you don't work for 3M or Boeing, or you're not affiliated with a university, what can you do right there in your corner of the world? So first off, we have 2 training programs. Each one is about a 30-minute tutorial. First is leading kids through a successful engineering experience, and this really walks you through how you can organize an activity and make sure that it is meaningful to the students, how you can weave in your job into any engineering activity, how you can make sure the engineering design process comes through. So whether students become an engineer or not, they're armed with that valuable mindset of design thinking. And it also offers a few tips on how you can set up and reach out to a school or an after school. I know that's a huge hurdle for many engineers out there. You know, if I call a school, will they invite me in? Yes, they will. They're excited about having you come and talk to their students. Also, a training on effectively talking to kids about engineering. All of the research shows out there that what you say and how you say matters. So we want you to just take 30 minutes and kind of review the best messages, talking about teamwork, talking about the problems you solve and how you're making an impact and a difference in the world. Those are the things that are going to engage and excite students. So those are available on the Discover E website, and you can do them right from your desktop. Oh, and we also have a new training this year. You heard Candace talk a little bit about a Discover Engineering Family Day activity, and that's where you can partner with a museum or a mall or any local organization and do hands-on activities right there in that venue. So we have a training now to walk you through what's involved in doing that and some resources to help you put that together, kind of a little planning toolkit in a box. Again, that's self-guided. So how can you spread the word about Engineers Week and Girl Day and engineering in general? We'd love for you to post an announcement or article in any newsletters or blogs that you have that are available to you. If some of you work in organizations that have lobbies and hallways, which hopefully most of you do, or hallway monitors at work, we have lots of good graphics on Discover E on our website that you can download right from our resources and download section, and share with folks that Engineers Week is coming up or that it actually is Engineers Week. In your email signature, think about including a line in your signature about when Engineers Week is. Another great way to spread the word and celebrate engineering is to host a brown bag lunch for colleagues or students, just talking about what's happening in the world of engineering and how engineering is making a difference. And then follow hashtag Engineers Week 2016 and share your plans on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. So upload pictures of what you're doing and take a pledge to Global Day and share a local engineering innovation. We have someone from Honduras who's joined us on the call today. I hope that you will share with us a local engineering marvel right there in Honduras. So, okay, getting started. Like I said, if you, how can you get started? The first question to ask yourself is there anyone else in my community that might be doing Engineers Week or Girl Day or Global Day this year? And start with your own local company. Go talk to your community relations, educational outreach, or your engineering division. Start asking people, hey, are we doing anything for Engineers Week or Girl Day? And if your company's not, see if you can get them involved. Or if you're a member of an engineering society, the American Society of Civil Engineers or IEEE or Society of Women Engineers, we hear from all of them that some of their largest outreach of the year happens in February around these three programs. So there's lots of folks doing that, so just start networking with folks. Are you doing something? What's going on? And ask how you can get involved. Next slide, please. So once you find out who is doing stuff around Engineers Week and how you can help, you might want to come and visit our website. All of our programs are listed on the website, but we also have a number of resources for you. And the two places that I want to point out are the cool content and activities in the navigation bar and the resources and downloads. So yeah, next slide. Good job, Autumn. First thing, if you haven't ordered your Engineers Week or Girl Day kit, these are free, and you can go right to our shop and order these kits. It has bookmarks and a poster and new activities, and you can also download all of these resources directly from the resources and downloads phase. If you're like, I can't wait for that to get in the mail, I want to get it right away, you can download all of these images and resources right from your desktop. Next slide. We also have, actually that number is low, we are up to 80 activities on our site, and you can go to the cool content and activities and filter by, there's a filter by, you can filter by age, you can filter by discipline, you can filter by time, and see all the wonderful hands-on activities that you can do, like that paper chair activity that captured Victoria's imagination. Look around, see what activities you want to do. And we also have translations of a number of those activities into Arabic and Chinese and Mandarin. So if English isn't your native language, or the group you're working with, English isn't their native language, we do have activities and hands-on activities you can do with them. Next slide, please. So you've been asked to go to a middle school or high school and present engineering, but you don't have a PowerPoint or a presentation planned out. Have no worries, we have one for you. This was designed for academic career counselors but can be used by anyone. It's 45 minutes long. It has 6 videos featuring engineering undergraduates, but it's really designed to showcase for folks what engineering is, what it looks like, and how they might get involved. This is available for download right from our website. You can download it, and you can cut out slides that you don't want. You can add your own slides if you have your own video. It's just sometimes nice not to start from a blank page. Next slide. Oh, we went backwards. We are all over social media now and will be. We're year-round, but we get lots of stuff going on social media, so we certainly hope you'll like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and those are all of our hashtags. So put all of those, start following all of us so you can see what's going on as Engineers Week approaches. Next slide. Also, we want you to post everything you're doing. If you have an event, post it on discover-e.org. One, we know that gives us a good sense of what's going on all over the country, and 2, you can help promote your own events by posting them there. And follow us on Instagram. There is our Instagram account. And not only follow us, but tag us and post what you're doing. Next slide. So if you can't get enough of Discover-E, we have some more events that are coming up. Our global marathon is March 8th, 9th, and 10th. This is a 3-day online free virtual virtual conference for women around the globe to discuss issues that transcend borders but that are common to women engineers and technologists. And registration is open for Global Marathon, and we hope that you will join us. And also, we'll be announcing our new Faces of Engineering Professional and College Edition winners on April 4th. Next slide, I believe, is time for questions. And there's lots of questions in here. So, Autumn, do you want to share a question with the panelists? Okay, Autumn, I just unmuted you. Could you share a question with us? All right, we seem to be having some audio problems with Autumn. But we have a question from George asking, is there a Discover-E National Coordinator for Engineers Week? Oh, is Discover-E the National Coordinator for Engineers Week? Yes, we are. So if you have any questions about Engineers Week, you should reach out to us. From Jane, Victoria, how did you find out about Girl Day when you were 10?
I found out about it through a family friend. She was living in Austin at the time, or she had just moved into Austin, and I believe the Women in Engineering program at the University of Texas does a great job of sending out invitations to all the campuses around Austin. And so, you know, they have a great website, and you can go on there and, you know, not apply, register for the event. And so that was how I got to go to the event, was through a friend who had heard about it, and she thought that it would be something I would be interested in.
That's terrific. I mean, I think that the power of the word of mouth and kind of as an event organizer, sharing it with, you know, through as many channels as possible will really help to spread the word. And one great way is to upload your event to the Discover E upcoming events place. That's just a horrible word, to the upcoming events section of our website. We have another question. Is there any place where we can upload pictures of the activities we're going to be organizing in February? We would love for you to post those pictures on Instagram and tag Engineers Week 2016, Gabriella. And also, if you want to email those to us at info@Discover-E, what that does is that allows us to put them on our website, share them with others. But if anyone wants to share photos, the first place is our Facebook account and our Instagram account, and then to also send them to us. That's great. Thank you.
This is Terry. I'd also like to mention that as part of the Global Day, you can share engineering innovations as well through the Global Day pledge process.
All right, so this is wonderful. Thank you for this wonderful call. I've been a volunteer since 1986. This is very exciting. What are the best pathways to help youth in poverty? Mr. Terry or Victoria, any ideas or suggestions for Allison about helping youth in poverty learn more about engineering and
This is Terry. One of the things we do a lot of work with is partnering with other societies, especially many of our diversity groups here in the United States have specific targeted programs for those in poverty. The one that comes to mind for me is the National Society of Black Engineers that has a SEEK program that has special programming, and they really target inner city poverty areas. So I would encourage you to look for the different diversity societies and their programming to partner with in terms of outreach in those areas.
Thank you. I have another question for Candace and for Terry. How do we motivate corporations to take up participation in Engineers Week?
So this is Candace, and the way that we get support from 3M is by showing them the impact we're having on our community. I mean, I feel like every company wants to have a positive impact. So every time we go to a school, I estimate about how many students did we talk to, how many volunteers did we have go, how many volunteer hours was it. So, you know, you hate to spend the extra time just gathering data, but that's how we're getting support. And we say, you know, okay, since 2014, we've seen over 10,000 students, and they say, wow, and you only cost, you know, $2,000 a year to run your program. That's definitely worth the support. So it's really easy if you give them numbers and you show them the impact. That's how we get support. So if you're just starting with your company, I would do some digging and get numbers from other companies. You know, I'd be happy to send you our data over the past 3 years and say this is what other companies that are, you know, equivalent in our size have done, and this is how much it costs. That's one way to do it.
That's great. Thank you. We have a question from David asking, do some of your posted activities apply to key students? Yes, David, our activities run from pre-K all the way up through high school. You will find a range of activities. So if you're working with really young kids to to adolescents to late teens. We have activities for all of them. Will this presentation be posted somewhere? There's a lot of good summary info and links. Yes. We will post this to our website in the resources and downloads. We'll have a link to it from the Engineers Week page. And also, you all will get an email later this week or early next week with the link to the recorded session. Oh, can we please go back to the slide with the hashtags? If Autumn could go back to that. I'm going to ask the presentation for the 8th to 11th graders on the Discover E website. If you go to the volunteers section of their website and you click on career counselors, there is the presentation along with PDFs and videos and all kinds of other resources you can use to utilize that. Can any of the panelists share examples of fun or interesting ways to internally communicate Engineers Week to global employees? Candace or
This is Terry. We've actually worked with, we have a company-wide engineering council, and we have worked directly with them to post an Engineers Week website that is connected then to all of the engineering employees in the company and advertising events happening with eWeek, including Global Day. And so, think about in your company who is kind of at the top of communicating to the engineering audience, and ask them about posting Engineering Week activities and opportunities in their regular communication. We also have a Boeing now that we have numerous articles come out on, hey, this is happening for Engineering Week and here's how you can get involved. So we actually have more internal news articles that go out about the events as well.
Thanks. I'm just trying to find one more question that we can ask. There's so many questions. We've been you guys are a good audience. There was lots of questions about the age range of the activities, and we do run the gamut. And also someone asked if for Girl Day, are we limited to activities supplied by Discover E, or can we use other girl-related engineering activities? You can use whatever you think is going to motivate girls and connect and is an activity that you like and are excited about, because your excitement and passion is going to translate directly to those students. So please use whatever activity you want. Someone says they're from a smaller private university and we're hosting smaller events of our Engineers Week. I would like to expand this event. I do have the help of other assistants, but I need some suggestions. So anyone have any suggestions on how she can expand her event? All right, I'll take that. The first thing to do to expand your event is to, I know what Tricia does in UT Austin is she has a large committee that she works with and brings in partners from other organizations. And that's one of the main messages that Discover E always sends is we are stronger together than any of us are alone. So partnering locally with other like-minded organizations is a great approach for you to try. And if you don't know who some of those local organizations are, feel free to email info@discovere.org. And once we know where you're geographically based, we can say, hey, we know someone at this organization or this locale that's doing interesting things, and we can start putting those partnerships in place. But I think the best strongest place to start whenever you want to expand is not to think about how can I do this alone, but how can I do this with partners. All right. Well, we certainly.
This is Terry, and I'll just add one more thing to that. Especially look at your, government and city structures, such as your educational infrastructure. The school district, potentially your city government, that are your economic or business groups. Those are great partners to reach a whole totally new audience that maybe you've not touched before.
Great. Well, I want to thank Candace and Terry and Victoria for spending this time with us today and being such wonderful Discover E partners. We appreciate all that you're doing to get more kids and girls interested in engineering, so thank you very much. And I want to thank all of you for spending 48 minutes with us today. And if anyone has any further questions, we didn't get to all of them. I apologize about that. But if anyone has any further questions, please email us at info@discovere.org, and we will try and answer all of your questions in turn. Thank you, everyone, and have a happy and healthy Engineers Week 2016. We look forward to seeing you all on social media and Facebook and posting all of your events on the discovere.org upcoming events channel. Thanks all. We appreciate it.